This is A10 in the hangar, interviewing Adriel of the Fresh Corporation. Remember to dance for joy.
I think it's because, you know, a lot of people have, I know for me personally, I have like a ton of different interests and a ton of things I want to say, you know, or express. But, you know, I think it's kind of like, it's almost a game. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, there's a lot of DJs who put out, like producers, for instance, may put out different, it's the same person, you know, same creative well, but they want to express things differently. Like they have a, you know, what's the difference between Herbert and the Matthew Herbert Big Band? You know, well, if you listen to him, you can hear elements of the same thing because it's springing from the same guy, but it's two totally different things, you know, and I think that that's his way of saying, you know, okay, I'm in this mode now, this is what this sounds like. You know, when he's Herbert, it's another scenario. When he's Matthew Herbert, it's another scenario. When he's Matthew Herbert Big Band, it's another scenario, you know. So, you know, same thing with, you know, the cats that we know, you know. It's, you know, I think that they have different things that they want to say that are maybe different than what people know them for. And it's the same thing with, like, you know, promoters too. Like I mean, you know, there's, I think a lot of people have mastered the art of reinvention. And so, you know, we're constantly reinventing ourselves. And I know for me personally, it's, oh wait, I'm sorry. Can we edit that? One of my pet peeves, I hate when people say stuff like, for me personally, you know.
I didn't even notice that.
You know what I can't stand that. That gets on my nerves. I'm like, dude, like, if you're saying it, then it's personally what you think. And one of those little quirks I can't stand about when people talk on interviews, it gets on my nerves. For me personally, well, to tell you the truth, in my opinion, now, you know,
you.
Right, I know. So edit that. No. For me, it's you know, it's that's exactly what it is. It's about like kind of like a different. Well, actually, I take that back. It's not so much about like a different expression and saying a different thing. It just really is like. You know, I think I've gotten a little better at, really I get like these concepts in my head sometimes and I'm just like, this is what this idea is like. And that's what, you know, promoters, DJs, producers, graphic artists, filmmakers, all of us have, you know, a concept that we're trying to bring into reality. And so for an event producer, the reality is the event. And the identity, even more so for, I think even more so for promoters, so much of what we produce is our identity. Because it's very hard, like, you know, a producer can go, I mean, he's got actual tangible things that people can identify with, you know, like that, they like that sound, that's what that producer does. So if he wants to make another sound, that's what, you know, he changes his name or does something else, or announces he's going in another direction, or whatever. And you know, a filmmaker also has like a tangible thing. Well, with event producers, our things aren't so tangible. It's like an interactive experience, and we always need other elements in order to make that happen. And then they're immediate. You know, like it happens and then it's done.
It's over, right?
Unless it's been videotaped or something like that. There's no archive. There's no like, you know, you can't experience it the same way. You can see a film over and over and over again, but you can't experience that party over and over and over again. You can't take it with you. So for us, like part of, you know, we expend a lot of energy and creative thought and stuff like that into creating the actual event, but also in creating our identity, because that is the thing that the event producer has that lasts, or lasts beyond that party or beyond that event, you know. So to see event producers switch up is not that uncommon, because there's at different times different directions we want to go in. And for me, you know, it's what I did as Tribe 9 no longer matches me, even though people will probably say it's still a party, you know. But like mentally, it's different. It certainly isn't the money in Detroit. It's certainly, I would have quit a long time ago. You know, I think that it's maybe that's a multi-part answer. I think that maybe one is that I have a genuine love for like the culture, for underground like culture. I like the idea of like DIY. Stuff like individuals who, you know, aren't trying to necessarily go create an identity at a job for themselves, but who, you know, have the artistic drive to say, okay, you know what, I want a record label, so here it is. And I want, you know, that's how that's the motivation of like quite a bit of the things that I've done. It's really just like I want. You know, like I wanted a store, so we did one. You know, I wanted a clothing line, so we did one. You know, and the success of it was not necessarily, had nothing to do with money, which is the funny thing. It's, you know, definitely any financial person will tell you that that's not how you get rich in America. But the funny thing is that wasn't the success. Like the success of when we had the store. The success for me was day one when, you know, the open sign turned from closed to open, and you unlocked the door. Like that was the success. You know, success met. Same thing with the events. When it goes off, it's like success. So like the why I think is that it's important to another answer to that question is that it's important to like the drive. I think it's important to keep yourself stimulated, and one of the things, you know, one of the ways to keep yourself stimulated is to be productive and to be active about something. I've never been the type of person that was like kind of passively involved in something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very hard for me to like be like a passive member of like an organization or anything like that. Like I always strive to kind of be like actively involved. And it's the same thing with culture. You know, it would be really difficult for me to sit back and like say, you know, to have the love for like, you know, electronic music or underground culture or anything like that, to then just sit there and passively be involved in it. It's like, in the beginning, that's exactly what it was. You know, you asked how did the first party start or whatever. It was, you know, the want to go from being a passive member of the culture to being an active member of the culture. So I think that's, you know, that's kind of like the why is really, you know, you kind of got to do something.